this is my entire airsoft collection so far. These are all the guns I've collected over my last couple of years of airsoft. There's some cool stuff, there's some trash, but all these replicas have deep lore connected to them. We're looking at them all. My goal is to look back on this video next year with significantly more replicas in my collection. Starting off with this random sprigger that I got for free many years ago. I'm talking 2011. I've never used this in a game of airsoft. In fact, I don't think I've ever actually shot it, but nonetheless, this thing holds a special place in my heart because of the way I got it. I remember I went to a now long since closed airsoft field called Tempe Paintball and Airsoft. This was the first field I ever played airsoft at, and I got this thing the second time I went airsofting. Randomly after a game, a ref came up to me and was like, yo, here you go, dude. And he gave me this thing. I was legit so blown away that I got an airsoft gun for free that I cherish this thing for the rest of my life. I still have it today, nearly 12 years later. Side note, looking at videos of that old field really got me in my feels, dude. This is the Sportline ARX, and it was my first AEG. My parents didn't have a lot of money, but they still went out of their way to buy me this thing for Christmas. It's a crappy, low-quality replica of the ARX. It shoots like 250 FPS or something, but it still works, which blows me away because I also got this thing back in like 2013. Dude, look at this thing. It's been through it. This ARX has some very interesting lore behind it. I told my dad that I wanted this specific ARX after seeing it on the Walmart website, but it was 2013 and online shopping wasn't what it is today. Also, my parents really didn't trust online shopping back then, so we went to Walmart to actually buy this thing. They didn't have it at that Walmart, so we ended up going to 3 more Walmarts looking for this replica. Props to my dad, dude. He was ready to give up after the second Walmart. But no, he knew I wanted this for Christmas, and he pushed through to actually make sure that I get it. W dad. I have so many good memories playing airsoft with this thing, dude. Like, my first year of airsoft was me using this thing. And I know it's crappy, but it got the job done. One funny thing that happened with this thing is I distinctly remember a guy coming up to me and asking me to trade him this ARX for his UMP, and I told him no because I genuinely felt bad trading this $80 gun for his $150 UMP. This is a crappy shotgun I bought when I was very young. Here's the thing. When I was young, I would sit on Evike all day and look at all the listings of airsoft guns. Unfortunately, I was young and I was so broke that I'd probably lose a band for band with the McChicken. But nonetheless, I still wanted airsoft stuff. So when I saw this $20 shotgun, I was like, let's go. Keep in mind, I had no prior experience with airsoft shotguns and I didn't know how crappy they actually were. This thing sucked so bad that it actually came broken. And young me had to call Evike customer support for help. This thing sucks so bad, Evike didn't even want it back. They just sent me another one. And that's the one that you see here today. It still works, kinda. The trigger doesn't work, but when you cock it, it just bump fires the shell. This airsoft gun taught me 2 very important life lessons. Airsoft shotguns suck, and if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. This is the first gas airsoft gun I ever got. It's some non-blowback CO2 pistol that they were selling in Walmart back in like 2015. I got this thing from Walmart, and it's the last airsoft gun I ever got from Walmart because shortly after this, Walmart stopped selling airsoft guns altogether, which is super lame, by the way. I got this thing on my birthday, and I distinctly remember walking into Walmart with my dad and telling him I wanted this pistol, and him actually going and buying it for me and actually getting it for cheaper because it was incorrectly priced on the shelf. Once again, W dad. It's a very crappy pistol. It doesn't recoil or anything, but I distinctly remember younger me taking this to all the airsoft games that I'd go to, loading CO2 and BBs in it and just never using it. I guess I saw it as a backup just in case I needed it, but I never did. I don't think I've ever shot someone with this thing, actually. This is definitely one of my airsoft guns. While the ARX was my first AEG, this SEMA M16A3 was my first legit AEG. And I say legit because I didn't get this one from Walmart. I got this from Evike all the way back in 2019, and I got it for 145 bucks. I got this thing because I wasn't playing airsoft at the time, and I wanted an airsoft gun so I could get back into the hobby, and I got this thing, and it did the job. This thing also started my participation in SEMA gang. I put this thing through the absolute worst treatment on earth, and it still works. I painted it twice, I dropped it several times, and I even took it apart a couple times and slammed it back together, and it still works, kinda. The hop up doesn't actually really work, so the BBs don't hop. Despite that, I decided to use this for a video, and its inability to shoot slightly further resulted in me losing a tooth. Yeah, this was the gun I had in hand when I got my tooth shot out. I'm not saying it's this thing's fault, but I am saying that I could have had a chance to hit Badger, the guy who shot out my tooth, if this thing actually worked properly. I'm probably never going to use use this thing ever again just because I'm scared I'll lose another tooth. Unlike the M16, I actually like this thing. This is the Echo 1 Genesis Victor. It's a PP Bison. I bought this thing in 2020 from Airsoft GI for about $160, and it's overall the best gun I own. It is the backup of the Supervisor Effect channel. It doesn't do anything crazy. It doesn't have an insane gearbox or rate of fire. It's honestly a little unwieldy, but this thing is the GOAT when it comes to reliability. I take this thing with me wherever I go as a backup because I know when I need it to work, it'll work. It's not only a good backup, it's also just an overall fun gun to play with. Like, I'll pull this thing out, I'll fill up the drum mag with BBs, and I'll just go ham spraying with it. No joke, running this thing is literally just like running an LMG. This Bison is also special to me because it is the first airsoft gun that I reviewed on this channel. Man, look at this goofball with this freaking paper script in hand. Honestly, guys, I still recommend this gun for airsofters that are just starting because they are literally getting the full package for an amazing price. This is the Gun SG552. I freaking love this thing. I got it in 2021 for $175 from Evike. The AEG is honestly nothing special. It's the cheapest SG on the market, but it still does the job. Or did the job because my friend dropped this thing and broke it. I'm still a little mad. This is just another example of how much I love weird guns. You're gonna see as the video goes on that I have significantly more weird guns than I do like normal ones. Side note, this thing is just like weirdly heavy for no reason. I don't know why. While the Bison was the first gun I reviewed on the channel, the SG was the first gun to ever make an appearance in an airsoft video. It predates the first review. It was a rattle cam video where I showed you guys how to camouflage your airsoft guns. Holy crap, look at this dude. He's half asleep. Guys, by the way, camouflaging your airsoft guns makes them significantly nicer. This is the Wetech Macro, and it's the first gun that I bought specifically for the channel. This thing costed me $150, and I bought it specifically because I wanted to talk about it and make a video about it. I bought it from Evike as well. I honestly wish I could remake the video of this gun because the one I made was just so crappy. You can see my freaking stupid glasses fogging up in the video. Unfortunately though, this thing no longer works. I was testing out a rig and it went flying, slammed onto the ground, and the mag release broke, so now I can't put a mag in it. It's really sad because I had it for a month and then I broke it. I did get to play with it once, and when I played with it, I hit myself in the face with the blowback of this gun. But yeah, overall, it's an amazing feeling replica. Like, I just love holding it. RIP Macro. I wish I could have used you for longer. While the Bison is the backbone of the channel, this is the workhorse of the channel. This is the M904G Honey Badger. I got this from Taiwan Gun, and it costed me about $150, but that's with shipping. It is one of the best guns that I've ever owned, period. I have run the absolute crap out of this thing. I've taken it to 30 plus games of airsoft this year. I painted it. I did a lot, and it's still working. Recently, I started having a motor issue where if I use it for a little too long, it'll stop shooting for a little bit. But other than that, this thing runs amazing. This thing allowed me to start competing with people that were like using crazy kits. It's such a good gun for such a good price. I love this thing, and I just can't stop saying nice things about it. This thing is also the most kitted out airsoft gun that I've ever had. I put a freaking light on it. I got an optic on it. I got a freaking foregrip on it. This is the airsoft gun that young me perusing Evike wish he had. This is a crappy CO2 Glock I got off eBay for $50. It doesn't recoil. It doesn't do anything cool. It's not even fun to use. I bought this specifically for the CSGO video so I could turn it into a Glock from CSGO. It was wrapped at one point, but then I removed the wrap. This thing's not fun to play with. The trigger pull sucks. I don't really like this thing. Honestly, it's my least favorite gun out of my entire collection because it's just lame. It doesn't even have a cool story behind it. This is the HFC Mac 11, and I got it from Evike for $115. This is just a straight up pure fun airsoft gun. It's not a super good gun. It's not super accurate, but it sprays and it's so fun to use. Using this thing normally, shooting one BB at a time is not fun. But when you switch this thing to full auto and everyone's cool with it, it's fun. This is one of my favorite looking airsoft guns as well out of my collection because look at this thing. It's so sick. One of my main goals with my airsoft guns is to make them look cool, and I think I really succeeded with this Mac 11. I threw on this massive flashlight with zip ties. I gave it that tiger stripe camo. I think this thing just came out super sick. I personally think my review of the Mac 11 is the best airsoft gun review that I've made on the channel, period. I am genuinely proud of that review, and my goal is to one-up that video next year. This is the BNT USW A1, and it's the newest replica in my collection. I didn't get this one online, actually. I went in store and bought this from my local airsoft field. This is the most expensive gun in my collection, coming in at $215, but it's also one of my new favorite guns. It shoots super well, it's super accurate, and it's just fun to play with. I'll save a lot of the things that I'll say about this thing for the upcoming review of it, but just the whole stock pistol setup lends itself so well to airsoft, and I love playing CQB with this thing. It's also made me learn a new way of playing airsoft because you can't really mag dump, you can't really shoot, you have to be accurate and take the right shots when you're using a pistol like this because you'll run out of ammo otherwise. But again, I'll save all my opinions of this thing for the upcoming review. That is my entire airsoft collection so far. I know it's not a crazy airsoft collection like you see a lot of other people have, but it's my collection and I love it. I love all the guns that I have, minus that Glock. Again, I hope that next year I make a video where I'm just talking about all the new guns that I added to my collection that year. But yeah, guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, you're worth it. Have a good day, and you already know, go to the gym.